She was 56, fired after 18 years, handed a pity severance by a smug CEO who thought she'd break. Then she stole their billion-dollar algorithm, signed with their rival, and smirked as their stock crashed. His empire's burning, but what's her next move? Before diving deeper into this story, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know where you're watching from, and if stories like these touch your heart, please share your thoughts in the comment section and consider subscribing to my channel. The tension builds in the middle, leading to an unforgettable ending, so don't miss a moment. Tomorrow, I have another special story waiting just for you. It started on a Tuesday, 2 days before my 56th birthday, in a sterile conference room that smelled faintly of burnt coffee and corporate regret. I'd been at Nexlify for 18 years, 18 damn years, pouring my soul into code, building their flagship software from scratch. And there I was, sitting across from Claire Everett, my manager, and Tara Brooks from HR, both wearing those tight-lipped smiles you'd see on a car salesman unloading a lemon. "Lydia," Claire began, her voice dripping with rehearsed sympathy, "after careful consideration, we're restructuring your position." She leaned forward, hands clasped like she was about to pray for my soul. Nexlify's moving in a bold new direction. Tara slid a manila folder across the table, her nails clicking against the wood. "Your contributions have been appreciated," she said, pausing like she'd just remembered my name. "But we're consolidating the research division under product development. It's just business." I stared at the folder unopened. Inside, I knew what I'd find. 2 weeks' pay for every year I'd given them, 3 months of health coverage, and some career counseling pamphlet I'd toss in the trash. Standard severance for a washed-up relic like me, at least. That's what they thought. "I completely get it," I said, my voice steady as a rock. Their eyebrows twitched, just a flicker, like they'd braced for a meltdown.
Tears, maybe.
Or a rant about loyalty. After all, I was a 56-year-old woman in tech, practically a dinosaur in an industry obsessed with 20-something coders and hoodies. They didn't expect me to take it like a champ. Claire cleared her throat, regaining her footing. "We'd like you to clear out your desk by Friday. Hand over your keycard, laptop, and phone. Your team will be briefed this afternoon." My team. 5 brilliant engineers I'd hand-picked and mentored, kids who'd turned my wild ideas into the quantum flow algorithm, the beating heart of Nexlify's crown jewel, LedgerSync. That software powered 45% of Fortune 500 accounting departments, raking in billions. And I'd built it. Not Miles Donovan, the CEO who'd strutted around industry conferences taking bows for his innovation.
Me.
"Of course," I said, standing up, folder tucked under my arm. "Anything else?" They swapped a quick glance, thrown off by my calm. "That's it," Claire said, forcing a smile. "Thanks for keeping this professional, Lydia." I nodded and walked out, heels clicking on the polished floor. As I passed the glass-walled executive suite, I caught a glimpse of Miles Donovan, all slick hair and tailored suits, waving his arms at a PowerPoint titled Q3 Growth Strategy. The same Miles who'd once called me the old workhorse in a meeting, thinking I wouldn't hear. The same Miles who'd smirked last year at TechCon, claiming LedgerSync was a team effort while I sat in the back row, invisible. Back in my office, I shut the door and pulled out my personal phone, not the company one they'd confiscate by Friday. My fingers hovered over the screen before typing a single text. "It's on. Meet me tonight." The reply buzzed back instantly. "Can't wait." 7 p.m., the Oak Room. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. They thought they'd one-box me out, cut the dead weight. But they didn't know I'd seen this coming for weeks. It all started with an email, one of those glorious screw-ups where someone forgets to check the field. 3 weeks ago, it landed in my inbox, a thread between Claire and Miles, subject line Research Division Reorg. The words still burned in my brain. "Lydia's past her prime. We need fresh blood. Push her out by March." Past my prime. After 18 years of late nights, skipped vacations, and a marriage that crumbled because I was too married to the job. After I'd handed them quantum flow on a silver platter, I'd printed that email, tucked it into my purse, and started planning. See, here's the thing they didn't count on. I'm not just some loyal drone who'd roll over and take it. I'd spent the last month digging quietly, methodically into Nexlify's legal files. And what I found? Gold. The patent application for quantum flow, my algorithm, had never been filed. They'd promised to handle it 2 years ago when I'd asked, but it was all hot air. An oversight, they'd called it. Bullshit. It was a strategy bury my name, claim the tech as company property, and kick me to the curb before I could fight back. But I'd already moved first. On my own time, using my personal laptop in my cramped apartment, I'd refined quantum flow, boosted its efficiency by 47%, timestamped every line of code, logged every late-night session. And last week, with a lawyer's help, I'd filed the patent under my name. It was mine now legally, undeniably mine. Friday would be my last day at Nexlify. But Monday? Monday was going to be a hell of a show. That night, I slipped into a black dress, nothing flashy, just sharp enough to mean business, and drove to the Oak Room, a ritzy spot 20 miles from Nexlify's headquarters. Evan Caldwell was waiting in a corner booth, shielded by dark wood paneling. CEO of Corpulse, Nexlify's biggest rival, he had a reputation for playing smart, not loud. He stood as I approached, all easy charm and sharp eyes. "Lydia Harper," he said, shaking my hand. "They actually did it, huh?" "Yep," I replied, sliding into the booth. "Told me to pack up by Friday. Thought I'd go quietly." Evan laughed, low and warm. "Miles Donovan's an idiot. Cutting the woman who built their whole damn company? He's got no clue what you're worth." "Oh, he will," I said. Sipping the water, a waiter slid in front of me.
Soon.
Evan leaned in, voice dropping. "You've got the patent?" "Filed and granted," I said, pulling a slim folder from my bag. "Quantum Flow 2.0 faster, smarter, and 100% mine. Nexlify's got nothing." His grin widened. "And you're ready to sign with us?" "Depends," I said, leaning back. "What's the offer?" He slid a contract across the table, 7 figures, equity in Corpulse, and a title, Chief Innovation Officer. Plus a cherry on top, jobs for my entire team, the 5 engineers Nexlify was about to screw over just like me. "Done," I said, not even blinking. "Press release goes out Monday?" 7 a.m. sharp, Evan replied. "By 9, Miles'll be sweating bullets." I smiled for the first time all day. Good. Thursday flew by in a haze of fake smiles and exit interviews. I kept my cool, documenting every process, every password, evidence I'd played fair while they hadn't. Colleagues whispered in the halls, shooting me pitying looks. "You okay, Lydia?" They'd ask like I was some fragile grandma. I just nodded, packed my photos, my coffee mug, the one my team gave me that said Code Queen, and kept my mouth shut. Friday morning, Claire stopped by my office, leaning against the doorframe with that fake casual vibe she'd perfected. "Just checking in," she said, watching me box up 18 years of my life. "Miles says it's nothing personal. We're just pivoting to a younger vibe." I met her gaze, steady as hell. "Business is business, right?" She faltered, just for a second, then nodded.
Right.
"Got plans after this?" "Something lined up," I said, wrapping my mug in tissue paper. "Start Monday. Leadership gig." Her eyebrows shot up. "That's fast. Good luck, I guess." "Thanks," I said, and turned back to my box. At 5 p.m., I walked out of Nexlify for the last time, keycard surrendered, a cardboard box under my arm. The glass headquarters loomed behind me, all sleek and soulless. Up on the top floor, I saw the executive suite lit up, Miles and his cronies, probably toasting their bold new direction. They had no idea what was coming. I tossed the box in my trunk, pulled out my phone, and texted Evan. "It's done. Friday's over.
Bring it on.
His reply hit in seconds. Monday's gonna be epic. Dinner tomorrow to seal the deal? I typed back, you're on. As I drove away, Nexlify shrinking in my rear view, I felt it 18 years of loyalty, pain, and quiet rage boiling down to this. They'd lit the match. Now I'd watch it burn. Friday night didn't feel like an ending, it felt like a launch. I'd walked out of Nexlify's glass fortress at 5 p.m., a cardboard box of my old life in the trunk, and a fire in my gut that hadn't burned this hot in years. 18 years of loyalty, shredded in a 15-minute meeting, and they thought I'd just slink away.
Nope.
I'd spent the last month turning their screw-up into my ace, and now it was time to play the hand. I pulled into the Oak Rooms parking lot at 6:55 p.m., Saturday night traffic still buzzing outside. The place was all dark wood and low lights, the kind of spot where deals got done over steak and whiskey. Evan Caldwell was already there, tucked into a corner booth, nursing a glass of something amber. He stood when he saw me, all lean confidence in a tailored blazer, and flashed a grin that said he knew we were about to shake the world. "Lydia," he said, shaking my hand like we were old war buddies. "You look like a woman who just won a battle." "Not yet," I replied, sliding into the booth. "But I'm about to." He laughed, settling back in his seat. "Miles Donovan's got no idea what's coming, does he?" "Not a clue," I said, pulling my slim folder from my bag, the one with my patent docs. "He's probably up in his corner office right now, sipping scotch, thinking he's king of the hill." Evan leaned in, eyes glinting. "Tell me you've got it locked down." "Oh, it's locked," I said, tapping the folder. Quantum Flow 2.0, 47% faster. Built on my own time, my own gear. Patent filed under my name last week. Granted yesterday. Nexlify's got squat. He let out a low whistle. "You're a damn genius. And they just let you walk?" "They didn't let me do anything," I said, voice sharp. "They forgot who I was." "Big mistake." The waiter dropped off a glass of water, and I took a sip, steadying myself. It still stung 18 years, and they tossed me like yesterday's trash. But the sting was fuel now, and I was ready to light it up. "Here's the deal," Evan said, sliding a contract across the table. "Chief Innovation Officer at Corpals. 7-figure signing bonus, 2% equity, royalties on every product using Quantum Flow. And your team, those 5 engineers you mentored? Senior roles, big raises, starting Monday if they're in." I scanned the pages, though I'd already memorized the terms in my head. It wasn't just a job, it was a throne. A chance to build something new with people who'd actually listen. And a middle finger to Miles Donovan while I was at it. "Done," I said, signing the last page with a flourish. "When's the announcement?" "Monday, 7 a.m., Evan replied, clinking his glass against my water. Press release hits, industry news picks it up, and by 9, Nexlify's scrambling. "To Epic Mondays." "To Epic Mondays," I echoed, feeling the first real rush of victory wash over me. Back at Nexlify, Friday night had been quiet, too quiet. Miles probably figured I'd spend the weekend licking my wounds, maybe crying into a bottle of wine. He didn't know I'd already texted my team from the parking lot. "Check your personal emails tonight." Big news. By midnight, all 5 had replied, shocked, pissed, and 100% on board with Corpals. They'd been blindsided too, told their new direction didn't include them. Loyalty's a two-way street, and Nexlify had just burned that bridge to ash. Saturday morning, I woke up to a buzzing phone. My lead engineer, Sam Carter, had texted, "Holy crap, Lydia, what's going on?" "Corpals? You're a badass." I grinned, typing back, "Just wait till Monday."
Pack your bags, we're out.
The rest of the day was a blur, packing up my apartment, sorting through 18 years of Nexlify junk I didn't need anymore. Every badge from every conference, every team player award, they went straight to the trash. By evening, I was back at the Oak Room with Evan, finalizing details over a ribeye that melted like butter. They'll try to sue, Evans said, cutting into a steak. You know that, right? Let 'em, I said, smirking. My logs are airtight timestamps, personal laptop, not a shred of Nexlify's resources. They've got nothing but hot air and a pissed-off legal team.
He nodded, impressed.
You've thought of everything. Had to, I said, leaning back. They didn't leave me a choice. Sunday was calm, the quiet before the storm. I spent it prepping new suit, new mindset. I wasn't just some ex-employee anymore. I was Lydia Harper, patent holder, game changer.
And Monday?
Monday was war. At 7 a.m. sharp, Corpulse press release went live. Corpulse acquires exclusive rights to revolutionary quantum flow algorithm, welcomes creator Lydia Harper as Chief Innovation Officer. It spelled it all out: my name, my tech, my story. By 8, industry blogs were buzzing. By 8:30, my phone lit up with a text from Sam. Nexlify's losing it. Miles just stormed into a meeting with legal. You're a legend. I laughed, picturing it Miles pacing that glass-walled suite, barking at Claire and Tara, his perfect hair finally a mess. Their stock ticker popped up on my laptop, down 5% since the market opened. Not a crash yet, but a crack. A big one. At 9:15, I stepped into Corpulse headquarters for the first time, a sleek, modern building that screamed ambition. Evan met me at the door, grinning like a kid on Christmas. Welcome aboard, Lydia. Your office is ready, corner view, top floor. I followed him up, past teams already whispering my name, and into a space that felt like a fresh start. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a desk that wasn't chipped to hell, and a view of the city that Nexlify could only dream of. I dropped my bag, sank into the chair, and let it hit me. I'd done it. I'd turned their betrayal into my win. My phone buzzed again, Sam, with an update. Miles just called an emergency board meeting. They're pulling your old files, freaking out. Stock's down 8% now. You okay if I leak this to TechBit? Go for it, I typed back. Let the world see Nexlify squirm. By noon, TechBit ran the story. Nexlify in chaos after losing quantum flow creator to rival Corpulse. The comments exploded, some cheering me, some slamming Miles, all of M hooked. My inbox pinged with an email from Miles himself, subject line: urgent discussion. Lydia, it read, there's been a misunderstanding. Call me ASAP to sort this out. We value your contributions. Desperation dripped off every word. I forwarded it to Corpulse legal team with a note: handle it.
I'm Busse.
Evan popped by at 1 p.m., leaning against my doorframe. Stock's down 10%. Miles is toast. How's it feel? Like I'm just getting started, I said, spinning my chair to face him. They lit the fuse. Now they're gonna feel the boom.
He grinned.
Round 1's yours. Round 2's Monday afternoon, your team's first meeting here. Ready? Born ready, I said, and meant it. That night, I sat on my couch, glass of wine in hand, watching Nexlify's stock ticker dip another 2%. Miles thought he'd broken me. Instead, I'd broken his game. And this was just the warm-up. Monday morning hit like a freight train. At 7 a.m., Corpulse's press release was still rippling through the industry, my name Lydia Harper blazing across headlines as the woman who'd snatched quantum flow from Nexlify's greedy hands. By 9, their stock had tanked 15%, and Miles Donovan was pacing his glass cage, barking orders at a legal team that couldn't save him.
Me?
I was sipping coffee in my new corner office at Corpulse, floor-to-ceiling windows framing a city that suddenly felt like mine. Evan Caldwell strode in at 9:30, grinning like he'd just won the lottery. You see TechBit yet? He asked, tossing his phone on my desk. The headline screamed, Nexlify's empire crumbles as algorithm creator defects. Below it, a photo of Miles from last year's TechCon, all smug and shiny, captioned, the man who lost it all. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy, I said, leaning back in my chair. The coffee tasted better than it had in years. Stock's down 18% now, Evan said, pulling up a chair. Board's in panic mode. Word is, they're calling an emergency meeting at noon. Let him sweat, I replied, spinning to face the window. They lit this fire. Now they can burn in it. By 10:45, my phone buzzed with a text from Sam Carter, my old lead engineer. Miles just fired Claire. Legal's digging through your old servers like it's a crime scene. Stock's at 20%. You're a freaking legend. I laughed out loud, typing back. Tell the team meeting at Corpal's, 2 p.m. We're starting fresh. The press release hadn't just announced my new gig, it had laid out the stakes. Quantum Flow was mine, patented and locked down, and any company using it like Nexlify with their precious ledger sync had to negotiate with Corpals now. Nexlify's options? Pay through the nose or rebuild from scratch, a 3-year, multi-million-dollar nightmare. They'd built their empire on my code, and I just pulled the rug out from under them. At noon, TechBit dropped an update. Nexlify board ousts CEO Miles Donovan amid algorithm crisis. Sam texted a play-by-play. He stormed out, red-faced, yelling about lawsuits. Claire's packing her office. It's chaos. I pictured it, Miles unraveling, his perfect suit wrinkled, his ego shattered. 18 years of taking credit for my work, calling me the old workhorse, and now he was the one out to pasture. Corpal stock, meanwhile, shot up 14%. My inbox flooded industry journals begging for interviews, LinkedIn requests from strangers calling me inspirational. At 1 p.m., Tara Brooks from Nexlify HR called, her voice tight as a drum. Lydia, hi. We'd like to discuss the situation. There might have been a mix-up with ownership rights. No mix-up, I said, cool as ice.
My business clear, my dime, my gear, my git.
Talk to Corpals Legal, if you want terms. She stammered. Miles, the board hoped you'd meet to work this out. Tell the board I'm busy, I said, and hung up. Busy winning. At 2 p.m., I walked into Corpal's main conference room, my old team waiting: Sam, Jen, Malik, Priya, and Carlos. They stood when I entered, clapping like I'd just scored a touchdown. Lydia, you're insane, Jen said, grinning. Nexlify's toast because of you. Not because of me, I said, dropping my bag on the table. Because they forgot who we are. Now, let's build something they'll never touch. We dove in brainstorming Quantum Flow 3.0, ideas flying like sparks. No suits interrupting to simplify things, no Miles stealing the spotlight. Just us, the team that had made LedgerSync a titan, now free to soar. By 4, we'd mapped out a 52% efficiency boost, better than I'd ever dreamed at Nexlify. Evan popped in at 5, eyes wide. Licensing inquiry from DataStream, they're jumping ship from LedgerSync, scared Nexlify's done. And get this, the board just axed their head of legal too.
Total meltdown.
Good, I said, leaning back.
Letting bleed.
Tuesday morning, Nexlify's stock hit a 25% nosedive. Sam texted, all hands meeting at 10. They're begging staff to stay, half the engineers are bailing. I forwarded it to Evan with a note. Time to up the ante? His reply, legal's drafting terms. Triple industry rate, public credit to you. They'll hate it. At noon, I led my first Corpal's board presentation, laying out our roadmap, with Quantum Flow at the core. No back row seat this time, I stood at the head of the table, every eye on me. When I finished, the room erupted in applause. Evan caught my eye, nodding like a proud coach. I'd spent 18 years invisible, now I was the star. Wednesday, Nexlify's interim CEO, Paul Grayson, emailed a polite, desperate plea. Dr. Harper, congratulations on your success. We'd like to negotiate a fair licensing deal and acknowledge your contributions publicly.
Can we meet?
I forwarded it to Evan. Phase 2? He shot back. Nail M. By Friday, Nexlify caved. They signed Corpul's terms triple rates, my name in every press release, as Quantum Flow's creator. Their stock stabilized, but at a gutted valuation. Corpul soared past them in market cap, and I got the call I'd been waiting for. Keynote speaker at the National Tech Innovation Conference. 3 months later, I stood on that stage, 56 and unstoppable, facing a sea of industry leaders, journalists, and wide-eyed coders. Today, I said, voice steady, I want to talk about owning your worth. Not just coding the future, but claiming it. Because innovation isn't anonymous, it's us. Every one of us who dares to fight for it. The applause hit like a wave, loud and long. Afterward, a young engineer, maybe 25, grabbed my arm. You changed how I see my work, she said, eyes shining. I'm logging everything now, just like you. I smiled, handing her my card. Protect what's yours, kid. That night, Evan showed up at my office with champagne. Happy anniversary, he said, pouring 2 glasses. 1 year since they canned you, and look at us, Corpul's is king, and you're the queen. I clinked his glass, staring out at the city lights. It's not about revenge, I said, voice soft. It's about respect. They took 18 years of mine. I took it back. To respect, Evan said, raising his glass. To respect, I echoed, and drank deep. The pain of that Tuesday in March still lingered, a quiet scar. But the triumph? That was loud, bright, and mine forever.